Very good morning to each and everyone, my dear children. So, hope you are absolutely doing fine. I know that you people are actually busy with your examination preparation, and you might be little tensed even about your examination also. But just spare 10 to 15 minutes time to watch this video. You'll obviously get worth out of this. Why is this video is all about your day before examination strategy with respect to the subject of financial accounting. My dear children, it is the first ever examination of your CMA Inter. So it is recommended you to be well prepared for that and just go through the 10 minutes video. You'll be getting absolute worth. First, my dear children, come out of your anxiety or examination fear. Don't let your examination fear dominate your preparation. Of course, I can understand your absolute situation, and just having a question to you, is this the first ever time that you're facing this kind of situation? No, right? And just recall your past achievements, be bold, believe in yourself, self-motivate yourself. Something like, remember my dear children, this is not ever the first time, right? Because you might have attempted your CA foundation or CMA foundation. And also you people have gone through your general intermediate and 10th class. You might get too much of tensed, but remember how you have faced that and how you have attempted your examination. Don't forget, my dear children, you people have prepared in the best materials ever, which are compiled with respect to all your ICMA sources. So please don't get tense. And why is this paper very much important for you? Listen, this is the first ever paper in your CMA Inter, and also such an easy paper where you can score exemption range marks very easily. So I don't think it is such a difficult part to you to prepare. But of course, being first paper, you are having little tense, and also you'll be having some expectations, but never keep such kind of expectation. Anyways, let's proceed for the order of preparation. In which order it is recommended you to prepare? Of course, first part it is recommended you to prepare with fast track materials if provided to you, because those were like short, compile and crisp and clear. Second, it might not be possible to prepare each and every problem before the day of examination. So it is highly recommended to you to prepare each and every important point or unique point in each and every problem, and also how the solution is impacted with that adjustment. Also, we have identified and underlined all those points in your problems. So it is better to straight away go to that point and understand the point, understand the adjustment and check out the impact on the solution. And third, the next one, 2 sets of mock test papers. My dear children, mock test paper was having its relevant weightage in the examination. It is recommended to you not only just to prepare current attempt mock test paper, it is also recommended to prepare the past attempt or the previous attempt mock test papers also, because they are carrying their weightage in the examination, so be careful. And next, guess questions. But coming to guess questions, no need to prepare them separately. So by the time when you are just going through the guess questions, you just mark the same. You might have already marked the same in your main materials. So give special attention to all those guess questions. And next, it is recommended to prepare all the accounting standards. Of course, not mandatory, but recommended. Why? Listen, my dear children, from the past 2 attempts, the weightage for accounting standards was increased. So it is obviously recommended to you to prepare all the accounting standards, especially with respect to the problems that were there in your study material, model test papers and compendium or RTPs. Whatever all the ICMA sources are there, prepare accounting standards questions with respect to all the ICMA sources. And also it is recommended you to prepare our materials, because at the end of the day, you might get a question from accounting standards not only from those sources, but also from the questions that were being already framed in your materials. And coming to the next one, you might have attempted many revision examinations and pre-final examinations and internal weekend examinations. So after completing your examination, you will be getting the suggested answers and you might have cross-checked the same and reconciled the same. So verify the mistakes that you have committed on your internal examinations and let the things not to get repeat in your main exam. Coming to complicated chapters. Is it recommended to leave the entire chapter? Absolutely not. It is highly recommended to you to not to ignore any complicated chapter or any difficult chapter, or don't take any chapter as choice. If you want, you can take particular model in that chapter as choice. To tell you, among all the models, whatever you are having, prepare at least the important models from the complicated or a different chapter or a difficult chapter. Please don't ignore the entire chapter. It is not good to take complete chapter as choice, because you might get questions combining with two different chapters. If you have left one entire chapter and if you have prepared one chapter, but the question asked in the examination is complicated from an easier chapter, then you're not like one question, two questions will be in a difficult situation to you to attempt. So it is always recommended not to take entire chapter as choice, but if you want, you can take some models. Likewise, in examination, some models will not be repeated at all, right? You can take all those models as choice. Now, which chapter is to be prepared first, sir? Remember, it is very, very easy. Remember and listen carefully, this is actually important. It is always recommended to prepare some easy chapters, but with good scoring in the examination. Just if you observe the significance table that was being given in our material, you might be coming to a conclusion like from which chapter you are getting high marks or high weightage. Also, you can prepare the easier chapters but scoring chapters at first note, and after that try to complete all the complicated chapters. Don't leave those complicated chapters at the end, because if you have completed all the scoring chapters and complicated chapters, automatically your confidence level will be increased. You have completed this much portion, and hence you can be safe while going to the examination. Remember, my dear children, very, very important, always assume that your paper is going to be tough and your paper is going to be very lengthy. Why to have this kind of essence in your mind, sir? Very simple. If you have assumed that your paper is going to be easy, and if it is easy, it is okay, it's okay. But dear children, if at all you thought that the paper is easy and the paper is absolutely difficult now, what is your situation? So it's very hard to face. So it is recommended to all my dear children, prepare that the paper is going to be tough. If you have thought like that, if at all you thought that the paper is tough and the paper is really easy, very happy. But you thought it is tough and the paper is actually tough, what problem is there? Already you have fixed the same in your mind, and hence now you can handle your paper properly. So it is always recommended to assume that your paper is tough and lengthy. But remember, all the questions in your examination will not be tough or lengthy. Out of 135 marks, first 25 marks are bit, and the next 75 marks is your main paper, where you can get 2 questions as choice. So each question carrying 15 marks. And the last question, that is like question number 8, you are having theoretical questions wherein 4 will be given and 1 is like internal choice. You are allowed to write at least 3. So out of entire 135 marks, 25 to 30 marks will be obviously difficult or tough. Don't panic. Then what to do in these kind of situations, sir? You just identify those kind of things and leave those elements absolutely as choice. Otherwise, if you have started that, my dear children, it will kill the time around 1 to 1.5 hours without knowingly. So be very careful in this kind of situations. Don't come to conclusion if 25 to 30 marks are difficult or if 40 marks is tough. Don't come to a conclusion that the entire paper is tough or lengthy. Come out of this wrong notion. And remember, please don't go to the exams with hard expectations and assumptions. Always go to the examination without any assumptions and expectations, except that the paper is tough and paper is lengthy. Be careful. Now, that is what with respect to your question paper. And now coming to your answer sheet. Please don't commit the following mistakes while writing the examination. Point number 1, don't allow that the examination fear is to dominate you. Because whenever you feel more fear towards the examination, you will be in such a pressurized situation where you are unable to attempt the paper properly. And also, it is very difficult to manage the time in such a situation. Remember, don't dare to read the compulsory question in the beginning. Of course, coming to our CMA pattern of examination, the first compulsory question is nothing but bits. For your kind information, my dear children, there is no concept of taking choice with respect to bits. So wait, don't read it on an initial note. First 15 minutes, whatever the reading time will be given to you, it is very, very important, and you spend that time very strategically. If needed, spend another 5 to 10 minutes on the same. Because out of the existing questions, that is like question number 1 is like bit paper, so leave that. Right from question number 2 to question number 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of 7 questions, you are supposed to answer 5 questions. So you can take 2 questions as choice. What are those 2 questions that are to be taken as choice is very, very important. Of course, many of the students will be taking the last question, that is like question number 8 as choice, since it is like theoretical question. But you have to take choice with respect to another question. My dear children, if you people have prepared accounting standard, then you can able to attempt that. But if you are not able to prepare accounting standard, then another question can also be left towards choice. So one is like last question, question number 8, which is for choice, and another question is the question which is consisting accounting standard, which could be taken as choice. But take care, from the past attempt he is asking accounting standard questions in 2 questions. So be careful in such a kind of situation which question is to be taken as choice. Please come out of the wrong notion that you have to attempt for entire 100 marks. Of course, attempting 100 marks is very good, but it is very difficult, and it is unable to, it is not possible generally to attempt for entire 100 marks. It is very good even if you have attempted for 70 marks, but nobody can give guarantee with respect to those 70 marks that were being attempted by you were absolutely correct. So it is recommended to attempt to a maximum extent of 85 to 90 marks, which is absolutely very good, to score even the exemption range of marks, which will fetch out your total aggregate of the group. So even if you have attempted for 85 to 90 marks, it's absolutely good. Don't panic in such kind of situations. Don't degrade yourselves or demotivate yourself. Then what is the best time to answer this bit objective questions? Not even at the beginning, not even at the end. It is always better and recommended to write objective questions in the mid of the paper. Reason being, if you have analyzed it wrong and if you have written it at first part, then examiner might get some sort of wrong impressions on you. So it is always recommended to write in between of the paper. Then with which question you are allowed to start? So it is recommended to start with a question of 5 marks and also where you are more confident with. Never start your paper with 10 or 15 marks, because they may kill the time and you may not be attempt it properly. So sure shot descriptive question, 5 marks, where you are more confident with. Proper formats, tables, headings, denominations, amounts, rupees, all these things are important. Don't panic if your balance sheet does not get tallied, because like it is recommended to you while going with the accounts, especially from the chapters like accounts from incomplete records, non-profit organization, final accounts, you tally the things or you write balance carried down and brought down after leaving 3 to 4 lines gap, because you might find some other mistakes to rectify after completing the problem. So be careful in all such kind of situations. And also it is recommended to you to tally the elements with pencil and leave proper gaps for each and everything. Remember, how much ever pressure you are, spend last 10 minutes to check whatever you have written. That is actually very, very important. And remember, my dear children, see that the impact of one examination is not falling on the another examination, even if you have not attempted well. Sometimes, satisfaction of your answer sheet by you is not required. Satisfaction by evaluator is absolutely required. So even though you have attempted for 70, 80 or 90 marks, it's absolutely very good. Don't get panic and see that the impact of this does not fall under another examination, and don't get demotivated because of this. Now let us discuss some of the sure models that were being tested in the examination. Exclusively for bits, you can prepare the chapters like journal, ledger, subsidiary books, cash book, trail balance, accounting and introduction, capital and revenue, expenditure and receipt. And coming to the next chapter like accounting for depreciation, problems on SLM or WDV, these were being tested, and problems in change of method of depreciation is the next important model. Coming to rectification of errors, rectification of errors after preparation of trail balance and rectification of errors after preparation of final accounts, that is in the next financial year, and corresponding effect on final accounts. Be careful with these models because frequently being tested. Coming to the next chapter, bills of exchange, problems on accommodation bills and renewal of bills is important. Coming to the chapter of consignment, problems that were covering both normal loss and abnormal loss, or exclusively normal loss or exclusively abnormal loss. Be careful with these kind of models. Coming to joint venture, of course the chapter is not that important, but why to take last minute risk? It is recommended you to prepare at least important model, that is like problems relating to separate set of books that were being maintained. And coming to the next chapter like insurance claims, be careful with the problems that were being relating to loss of stock. Of course, loss of profit is there, but it was not being frequently tested in the examination. And preparation of financial statements from profit oriented organization like final accounts. Those adjustments which are covering bad debts and provision for doubtful debts. Be careful with that kind of problems. And coming to non-profit organization, be careful with the problems that were relating to consumption of materials and preparation of income and expenditure account and balance sheet from the given data like receipts and payments account or trail balance. And coming to the next chapter of incomplete records, of course, a capital comparison method is also important, but you can comfortably write in the examination. So be careful with all the problems that were being relating to conversion method. And coming to partnership 1, major concentration, problems on admission. Next, problems on retirement. Admission cum retirement is not that important. Coming to partnership 2, application of Gardner versus Murray rule is very important. And next, piecemeal disposals like higher relative capital method and maximum loss method. Coming to the chapter of self-balancing ledger, all the problems that were being relating to the preparation of debtor ledger adjustment accounts in general ledger. And next chapter is royalty accounts, accounting in the books of lessor and landlord. Especially the table. If you have gone through the table, chapter will become easy for you. And coming to hire purchase and installment system, even though there is complete repossession, they have been testing with respect to the problems on partial repossession greatly. And next chapter is branch accounts, that is like problems relating to debtors method and stock and debtors method. Coming to the chapter departmental accounts, the first problem, that is like allocation of expenses to various departments. Apart from that model, prepare each and every model, especially inter-department transfer are there, and computation of managerial remuneration or manager's commission is important. And computerized accounting system, a sure short question you are going to get, so it is recommended you to prepare all the 8 questions of the chapter. And next is accounting standards. As I already told you, it just depends on how you perceive the paper. Because from the last time weightage has been increased, so be careful. At least refer all the problems given in study material and MTPs. And next note, which is very important, if possible, also prepare the problems that were being given in our materials. And at last, in days, you people can comfortably take it as choice. So hope you're going to rock in your examinations. All the best. Don't get tensed. Hope everybody are going to pass in this attempt. All the best for your examination. Thank you.